Nice, check 1 2, mic check, nice. Okay, we are live. Oh yes. Welcome to the new sound of the CB300F. I don't know why it's been raining so much lately. Can we just get some nice weather for once? I'm tired of the winter. Not that this is winter weather, but come on. Let's get a nice mild summer day in spring.
Round one, fight!
So it's been maybe like a couple of weeks since my last upload, I think. At least since I recorded that video, I think it was around March. My intro video. And I'll let you guys know in a little update of what's going on that time. Goes into neutral easily when I don't want it to. Whenever I try to get into neutral, like, it's a bitch. Anyway, beginner bikes, and how many cc's should your first bike be? Or what beginner bike should you choose? Should you choose a super sport, a cruiser, a naked? As you all know, I started on this Honda CB300F. It's in the 300 class at 286 cc, so not really a true 300 cc bike like some of the other quote-unquote beginner bikes. But yeah, it's a standard upright naked bike, and for me, I don't really regret going and getting this bike. However, more than ever, I feel like it's sort of like a golden age, and it'll probably get better as time goes on. But nowadays, there are more than just maybe one or two bikes for you to pick when choosing a beginner bike. When back then the beginner bike was just the so-called Ninja 250. And I'm one of those people that are spoiled within this age and had a huge selection of bikes to choose from. There's all the 300 classes bikes, which include everything from the R3 what else? The Ninja 300. There's a CBR 300. That's just super sports. You got stuff like naked bikes, like the KTM Duke 390. You got this little guy that Honda has since made the 300R. I'm sorry if I said 300R before. I meant the 300RR. And yeah, so they made the 300F into the 300R, which is a standard Neo Cafe kind of upright naked bike. There's a bunch of cruisers out there. You got anything from the Rebel 300 and 500. I don't think you can really go wrong with a 500cc bike as a beginner bike, as long, as a cruiser. I don't really think you could go wrong with most bikes. as a beginner bike, as long as it's not a leader bike and not an R6, like one of those MotoGP bikes, which we'll get into. Which brings me to my other point. Now they have the Ninja 400, which supposedly is a bike that you can also sort of grow into. Not that I have any experience with it, but from everything that I read and done my research on, anyone from a beginner to intermediate, even advanced person can have a ton of fun on that bike, which is great, right? I mean, having a bike that is beginner friendly and that you can also grow into is an ideal investment, something that you can keep long term. However, we will also go into that. So, my experience having a 300cc bike has been good. Being on two wheels, period, whether you start on 300cc's or nice. 300cc's or let's say 650, I think is awesome. Number one, because you're on a fucking bike. You could do shit like
A new record!
this. This is on a 300cc bike, you know? Too much fun. Because it is. It's always fucking cool to ride over this bridge, even on a day like this. So, the best thing about starting on a 300cc bike, or at least one of them, because I think the next best thing is the second thing that I'm going to bring up, is how forgiving the bike is and how much you can learn even just on a 300cc bike. And it's probably going to be your best way to get on a bike faster. 300cc bikes are much cheaper than their 600cc or 700cc counterparts. I mean, look at the MT-07, which is right now, let's say if I was looking for a standard upright bike, right? I'm looking at something like the MT-07, which that's something I'm actually considering to upgrading right now, is something that will out the door. I've been quoted for about $8,400, right? I paid $5,000 for this bike, so that gave me $3,000 to mod the bike, put frame sliders, get a new exhaust, get some good gear. You know, and not only just buy the bike, but you have to have your gear. So, you know, to properly be equipped to ride a bike as well. Now, the next best thing, which is probably the best thing about having a 300cc bike, is being able to completely rip through the gearbox. And by that, I mean go through all the gears, really use the bike at basically 80% to even 100% of its full potential sometimes. But most of the time, you'll probably be around the 70 to 80% range, depending on what kind of riding you do. I do a lot of commuting, so I'm on highways for a good portion of my commute. When I work my late shift, I am in the battery tunnel, and it's empty when I get out, so I can just rip through that and really have a good time on my commute. Now, for the cons of it, I can't really say that there are too many cons, besides the fact that you might want to upgrade, which is in the position that I'm in now. But not only do I want to upgrade, but I sort of want a different style of riding. And as I mentioned before, I was never into the whole super sport thing. I mean, I've considered it, yes. It's not that I was never into. I mean, who's never into a super sport? They're fucking awesome. They're race bikes. They are race bikes on the street. And I just never thought that was my kind of style. But there's something about them that is calling me now to them, especially that new 2019 R3 and all those upgrades they made to it. Just make it a very appealing choice right now for me to go to. Like I mentioned before as well, this is a 286cc bike. With the R3, I won't really be doing a huge jump in horsepower nor in cc, but it does have about 10 or so more horsepower and about 40 more cc's at 321 versus 286, which from the research that I've done, looks like to be plenty of power for commuting, just like this bike is. The only thing is that this bike, over a long period of time, when I hit like 60 miles an hour, and it's kind of at the 8 to 7,000 RPM range, which is really annoying, and it gets kind of buzzy. So always just consider what kind of riding you're doing when choosing your bike. It's equally as important as the power and the engine displacement of the bike. Sorry for these boring commute vlogs, man. Just always getting stuck in traffic. Or at least every time I try to record, it's just being stuck in traffic the whole time. I pretty much only record, and the majority of my riding is on my commute. Hopefully you find my videos entertaining enough or informational that you came away with something, at least my perspective on riding. If you're only interested in other YouTube content, you can, I guess, leave the video now. I'm just going to be thanking and going over the stuff on Twitch and stuff like that and other platforms that I'm on. But I want to give a huge shout out to everyone on Twitch who supported me, from Ice Cool, McGriddle, Yo Don't Panic, Mads Hells, Man Bear Pig 718, who am I forgetting? NYC Gamer 57, of course, how can I forget you? Everyone else who's subscribed and followed and donated and everything. I really appreciate all the support. You guys are fucking awesome, and let's continue to grow the Vital Gang. I'm looking to do some merch giveaways for subscribers. So look forward to that soon. But anyways, that's everything that I wanted to go about. If you've come this far, I appreciate it. You can like, comment, subscribe, dislike, do whatever you want with this video. Share, replay it 20 times, and I appreciate it. So I will see you guys on the next one, and hope you're having a wonderful day. And be safe, ride on, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. It's a great place, right? You don't deserve that beautiful horse. Oh! Wow.